All right, I'm just going to re-say what I said one more time. Mid-segment, this is the mid-segment. We talked yesterday that mid-segments will always be parallel to the base, to the third side, and you double the mid-segment to equal the base. They use the word half is, and we said it already, saying that x is half the length of y is the same as saying y is twice as big as x. And I'd rather use the twice as big than I would the half. All right, let's go ahead and plot these points. Have you guys plotted them already? Has anybody done this already? If you haven't, do it now. L is 2, 6. And label as you go. K is 4, 2. And J is at the origin, 0, 0. Okay, you're going to connect what kind of shape do we have? Triangle. Now, there's a number of ways I can find. I can find the midpoint here and here and make the mid-segment. I can find the midpoints here and here and make the mid-segment. I could find the midpoints here and here and draw the mid-segment. But they are specific on which ones they want us to find. So let's read it. And create a triangle on the coordinate axis. Label the 3 vertices of the triangle with letters and with coordinates. We did that already. We labeled them. Find the midpoint of JL. Okay. They were specific. Which midpoint do they want us to find? Midpoint of what? JL. Midpoint of JL. They've even given you the midpoint formula here. Will this be given to you on test day? No, it will not be. You guys have seen the midpoint formula before, yes or no? Yes, so it is something you will need to know, to have memorized. Okay, so JL. Here is how I want to see your work on test day. I'm going to model it for you here, and this is exactly how I want to see it. Are you ready? All right, I want to see your work, and I don't want to just see random thrown around work. You label your points they're asking you to use. What 2 points are they asking you to use? J and L. J is 2, 6, and sorry, J is what? 0, 0. And L is what? 2, 6. That's the first thing you do. Whether you're using slope or using midpoint or using distance, whatever you are doing, you will always be working with 2 points, and you label the 2 points first. In this case, what formula am I using? Midpoint. So I add the x, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2. So 0 plus 2, divide by 2, and 0 plus 6, divide by 2. Did they tell us what to label this particular midpoint? Did they give us a letter? They did. Label it what letter? Okay, I hear only a few of you answer. Did everybody see that? Label it what? M. So I'm going to put an M here. And let's see if we can do this. M is what 0 plus 2? 2 over 2, comma, what 0 plus 6? What is M? What's 2 divided by 2? And what's 6 divided by 2? 3. M is 1, comma, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. Now, when you're taking the test, I want to see these original points labeled, and then over here you're going to label M is what? 1, 3. And you're going to box it in here, and you're going to label it over here. So when I check your work, I can quickly check your work on your graph, and I do always check your work in your workspace. I can see your points, your work, and your answer boxed in. Exactly what it should look like on your homework, on your quiz, and on your test. Questions? All right. Find the midpoint of JK. Now what 2 points are we using? J and K. And we're using the midpoint formula again. Okay, so you label J. You label K. How did you know to use those 2 points they told you? JK. What's point J? 0, 0, and point K is 4, 2, and they did not tell us to use M again. What letter are we using this time? N. So we use the letter N, and we add our X's, divide by 2, and add our Y's, and divide by 2. So what do we have? 0 plus 4, and 0 plus 2. Go ahead and do the math.
Wait, do we have to show work?
Yes. Now, you do not have to show as much work as I do. For example, how many of you can do this in your head? 0 plus 2 is 2, divide by 2 is 1. Anyone? 0 plus 6 is 6, divide by 2 is 3. So if you skip out this middle step, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going really slow in notes. For example, what would this one come out to be? 0 plus 4 is 4, divide by 2 is what? 2, comma, 0 plus 2 is 2, divide by 2 is 1. So if you don't show that middle step, I'm okay, but I do need to see the point, you plugging it in, and then your answer boxed in. And then that point plotted on your graph. Over 2, up 1, and what letter are we using? N, and it's 2, 1. Okay, are we ready? Now what am I going to, I just found the midpoint of JL, so that means JM is congruent to LM. Do you agree? Because that's the midpoint. What could we say is congruent on this side? JN and what? And K. Why? Because N is the midpoint. So I'm going to connect these 2 points. And what is this special line that I just drew in my picture? What is that line called? It has a special name. Mid-segment. Why is it the mid-segment? Because it cuts that side in half and cuts that side in half. Questions on that? No questions? Okay. What did we say up here that we were trying to prove? That the mid-segment was half the length of the third side. We're going to use the word double instead. And it is parallel to the third side. What do you know about lines that are parallel? Anybody remember that last year? If lines are parallel, some relationship between the slope. If they run side by side but forever, what do you know about their slopes? They are the same. Do you guys remember that? So if I'm trying to prove that this mid-segment is parallel to this third side, what formula am I going to use? Slope. Got it? Did they give you the slope formula? Okay, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to show you the work and also show you some other ways of doing it. Okay, find the slope of what 2 lines? MN and LK. What is MN called? MN has a special name. The mid segment. And LK is the third side, which I commonly call the base. Okay, so let's do MN first. M point, N point. What is the point M? We found it. It's written here, and it's nicely written in our workspace. What is point M? And what is point N? And we are going to find the slope of MN. All right, let's write our fraction. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So Y2 is 2, so 2 take away what? I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Y2 is 1, and Y1 is 3. So what do I have? What take away what? Thank you. 1 take away 3. And the X2 is 1, and the X1 is 1. So what do I have? 2 take away 1. What does that give me? What's 1 take away 3? Positive or negative? Negative 2 over 2 take away 1 is 1. You can leave that as negative 2. You can write it as a fraction, negative 2 over 1, because that's usually how we write the slope. It's up to you. Okay, I'm going to put a squiggly line because in this same workspace, I also have to find the slope of what? I've already done MN. What other one do I still have to do? LK. So what two ordered pairs am I going to write down? L and K. Did I find L and K or were they given information? Given. What is L? 2, 6 and K? All right, and we're going to do the same thing. Slope of LK equals fraction. And this is exactly how I want your workspace when you do your homework, your quiz, your test. Okay, 2 take away 6 or 2 take away 2? And then 4 take away what? 2. Anybody tell me what 2 take away 6 is? -4 over 4 take away 2? 2. Can I reduce that? Does anything go into both of them? He said -2 over 1. Do you guys agree? If you write it as just -2, is that okay? Yeah, is -2 equivalent to -2 over 1? Yes. Did they come out the same? Should they have come out the same? Yes, because we learned yesterday that these two lines are parallel, and if they are parallel, their slopes are the same. All right. How many of you would feel like Mrs. Torres? I'd rather just count rise and run and do it that way. Anybody like counting when you have points drawn? That is okay. If you choose not to do the slope formula and you count, then you would just put slope of LK. You'll do something like this. Slope of LK equals, and then you'll just write in words, rise over run, so I'll know what you did. And then L to K, when you, it doesn't matter if you go down and to the right and or up and over. I'm going to do up and over. How far did I rise? Can you guys count that really quick? 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's up, so it is positive. And how far do I run? To the left, so positive or negative? So is 4 divided by -2, that reduces by 2. That's 2 over -1. Is that the same as -2 over +1? Yes. Do I care which method you use? If you are using the rise over run and just counting, I'm fine, but this is what it would have to look like on your paper. You write rise over run, so I know you're counting your original fraction, and then it reduced. If you put the negative at the top to match this one, that's perfectly fine. Or leave it in the denominator, it does not matter to me. Questions on how to do the slope work? All right. Next one, use the distance formula to find the length of MN and the length of LK. All right, what two segments are we using here? MN and LK. Do you guys see that? Okay, this time, I forgot to highlight this over here where we're using the slope formula. Which formula are we going to be using now? Distance. Why are we using the distance formula? To show that the mid segment is twice as big as the third side. The mid segment is twice as big as the base. That's what we're trying to prove now. Do you guys remember the distance formula from last year? No? Looking at it, do you remember seeing it at least? Like, oh, I remember working with it. It's here, it's for you right now. Do you remember seeing it? Even a little bit? No, not at all. Yeah, you guys would have used it like Pythagorean's theorem time. Yeah, you did. If not, we're doing it now. Is it a formula you need to have memorized for the test? It is. I believe it's given to you. Let's see if it's given to you in homework. It's given to you. The formulas are given to you in homework. There's the midpoint formula. It's itty bitty, but you have your own paper. There's the slope formula, itty bitty, and there's the distance formula. Will those be given to you on quizzes and tests? They will not be, unfortunately. You do have to work on memorizing them. All right. I keep saying this over and over. When you're doing the work, label your points. M, N, do the work. Label your point L, K, and then do the work. Is M a given point or a point we found? It's a point we found. What was it? It's nice and neat in our work up above. What is M? 1, 3. What is N? All right, L and K I'm just going to write now. What is L that was given information? And K. Okay, now some of you may feel like, well, I'm going to write really sloppy. I can read sloppy, but I need things organized. That is what I need. I need to see, in this case, you were finding the midpoint M. You were finding the midpoint N. What 2 points you used, what 2 points you used. Here, you were finding the slope of MN, what 2 points you used. Slope of LK, what 2 points you used, or that you used rise over run. Distance formula, MN, and then we're going to do the LK. All right, distance. All right, I'm going to put quantity squared plus quantity squared. It just says x minus x and y minus y. It's because it doesn't matter. I'm just going to stick with the way we do it for the slope. x2 minus x1. So what's x2 minus x1 going to be? What minus what? I'm doing the x's, so 2 minus 1. If you did 1 minus 2, would it be okay? Okay. Y's, what do I have? 1 minus 3. If you did 3 minus 1, would it be okay? Okay, what's 2 take away 1? 1. What's 1 squared? 1. Plus, what's 1 take away 3? What's negative 2 squared? Negative 2 times negative 2 is what? Positive 4. What's 1 plus 4? 1 plus 4 is 5. So what's the distance equal? Not 5, but square root of 5. Is MN my smaller side or my bigger side? This one should be how much bigger? Anyone know how twice as big as root 5 is going to look like? How would you write twice as big of root 5? Any thoughts? If you double root 5, how would you write that math, like by hand? 2 root 5. Okay, so let's check. That is correct. When you double a number, you multiply it by 2. So let's see if this one comes out to be 2 root 5. We're hoping mathematically it should work. I shouldn't say we're hoping because we're going to do our math properly and it's all going to work out. Okay, x minus x is 4 take away 2 because those are my two x values. Y minus y is going to be 2 take away 6. We're going to do the work. Can you guys quickly subtract? And what's 4 take away 2? 2 squared. Plus, what's 2 take away 6? Negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is what? And this 4 plus 16 is 20. I'll often have kids, well, can I square root each one? The perfect squares? No, you cannot. Order of operations, you have to add them first and then square root. Gosh darn it, what did I get? Root 20, and is that 2 root 5? Does anybody remember from unit 1, first week of school, what we did with the root 20? Do you guys remember that? What did we do? Broke it down. Prime factors, what is that? 4 and 5. 5 is prime. 4 is what? So I have 2, 2, and 5. And do you guys remember what comes out? Pairs or the singles? Pairs. So what's coming out? And do I take it out as 2 or as 4? Just the 2 because it's one pair. So what's this final answer once it's simplified? 2 root 5. Did it work? Okay. Is the LK, the larger side, twice as big as the shorter side? Is 2 root 5 twice as big as root 5? Yes or no? All right. MN is half the length of LK. Explain mathematically from your work in part E why this is true. Can we change this? I'm going to say what? LK is, instead of half, LK is what? Twice as big as mn. All right, so just explain 2 root 5 is twice as big as root 5. That's enough for me because I can see your work. So in your explanation, you would say the length of LK is 2 root 5, and that is twice as big as the length of MN, which is root 5. Whew. Questions? Will there be a question like this, exactly like this on the test? Yes, there will be, just like it.